Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hello.
And tonight we'll be reviewing a new movie called Hatching that was released in,
it was released this year.
This year, anyway.
Yeah, 2022. Hatching. Hatching.
Yeah.
Not the Hatchling, which is a different movie altogether.
Yeah, this movie is a Finnish. Another with different languages.
It's in a Finnish language with subtitles. That's what I think she's trying to say. Yes.
Yeah, and it's a sort of what would you call it?
Well,
horror it is?
On the internet, it's described as a body horror because it's a body transformation sort of morphing sort of thingy-wingy instead of a slasher. Yeah.
Yeah, although it does also mention it's called also under horror fantasy too, even though it's more horror than fantasy.
I wouldn't say fantasy too much. No, anyway, whatever.
Or dark fantasy.
Dark fantasy, body horror. Yeah, it works for me.
Yeah, and seeing this is a new one, we don't have too many facts about it, would you say?
Well, it's only brand new, and a couple of reasons why we don't have too many facts. I was going to talk about it a bit later, but they released it at a film festival, which I'll talk about in a minute, and then a little while later they released it for theatrical release, but video on demand at the same time, which means probably it got more action on video demand at the theatres. So, yeah, whatever. It does make it a bit hard to get information on stuff that people aren't critiquing on. Anyway, here we go. Okay, right. Excuse me for my pronunciation of some of these names. I am not Finnish. I might be finished later. Produced by Micah Ritalati, I think as Micah Ritalati, Nico Ritalati, and Nima Yousefi. Okay. Directed by Hannah Bergholm. That's a bit easier. Written by Ilya Rutsi, Autsi. There you go. Now, the dollars and cents don't make too much sense here, partly because we're in two different currencies, and like I said, went to VOD, video on demand. So, budget, about 4.95 million euro. Now, I'm not quite sure. That's a little bit more in US dollars, I think. I don't know what the conversion rates are. Box office is quoted at 478,000 thereabouts. Maybe US, I believe it would be. Now, like I said, it went to video on demand. It doesn't take into consideration all the people who rendered it through video on demand. So I don't know what actually did. Okay. Now, yeah, it did premiere at the Sundance Film Festival in January of this year.
Cool.
And it was released to the theatres and on the video on demand streaming in April. So it is as new as we can get them. It's won awards at the Grand Prix and the Prix du Jury Jones at the Film Festival de Film Fantastique in whatever in 2022. Okay, so it won an award. Sarah will tell you the story in a minute, but it centers on a little girl with a over-demanding mother.
Yeah, over-demanding mother who is she's a influencer, if you will. And I know this is...
You're going to tell a story in a minute.
I'm just saying, I'm giving them the synopsis, that it's about a mother and a daughter relationship who's... her mother's an influencer who's big on the internet and all of that, but in reality, she's a total nut bitch.
Mum was a gymnast when she was young.
No, not a gymnast. She was an ice skater, a famous one or a popular
whatever.
one, and somehow she broke her leg, and she's trying to hoist her kid to become as good as her.
That's right. Mum was a figure skater. My mistake. Her leg couldn't do anymore, but she's trying to live her life through her daughter, which has been a subject of many other movies and TV programs over the years. Now,
and this is another social media related type movie.
Yeah, we didn't pick it for that. We picked it for the fact it's a good movie.
Yeah, so this is like my third movie I did that's about social media stuff.
But this is also a foreign movie. It's a Finnish one from obviously where we do a lot from America, UK, other places, but we don't do too many European ones. So we thought it wasn't wasn't fair, has it? Yes.
I chose this one because I like the fact that this deals with a mixture of people, and as Mike and I often have reviewed in the past, we review movies about whether or not who to side with. Like, do we side with the monster or do we side with the people who
and this is
normal people?
This is one of the ones where you start to say, who's the real monster?
Exactly. This is the movie that questions the ultimate question: who's the real monster in this movie?
Well, don't tell them anything. Let it go on the story.
Now go on, Mike.
Right now, okay. I'm going to try struggle my way through these names. Here we go. The cast. Siri Solalina plays Tinja, and she plays her alternate ego, Ali, which is a creature we're talking about in the next couple of moments. Mm-hmm. Sophia Haikila is mother. Yanni Volanen plays her father. So you got mother and father, don't have any names.
No.
There's mother had the love interest, played by Reno Norden. He plays the role of Taro. Okay, and now little brother, precocious little brat he is. Eva Olila plays Matthias. Saya Letonen plays the coach. Tinja's coach, and Ida Matanan plays Rita, little girl next door, who's just as good as her, if not better, at the gymnastics. They do form a friendship, but it's rather strenuous, straining. You know what I mean.
More to do with I think it's more to do with the fact the mother
Mum's a pain
is trying to make this more a rivalry between the two girls.
Mum wants her daughter to be a gold medal winner as a gymnast, to live her life through her daughter, and any competition she don't like. How's that? Pretty good?
Yeah, she's like a total Nazi when it comes to competition.
You know those when they had those children beauty pageants.
Yes.
And you got those mothers who are just over the top. Yeah, a bit like that. Yeah. Now, do you want to take over telling the story, and I'll just jump in occasionally and fix you up?
Might as well. So it begins with the family, the Tina's family, who Tinja's family. They're doing a video. She's and it's pretty much
Mum blogs everything.
Yeah, her mother is
streams whatever.
An influencer who's trying to make out that their family is 100% perfect. In every way.
It ain't. Honestly, really.
And while they were filming a video, streaming it, we get a crow coming through.
A crow comes through the window and trashes the room.
Yeah, and the girl, the daughter, she throws a blanket over it, and she tries to coax her mother if she can let it go outside.
And Mum, being such a wonderful lady, grabbed it gently and wrung its neck. There you go.
Strangled its neck. And she says, go on, take it outside into the bin.
And put in the garbage.
Yeah,
Poor little girl.
The little girl is devastated, while her mother just was cold and calculated and just pretty much ringed the thing, not caring about the fact that it was a living creature and probably had a life. Anyway, so the girl takes it out to the garbage bin, feeling a little self-pity for it.
Wait a minute, though.
Or pity out of it.
We believe at this point the bird isn't quite dead.
No.
Aha.
Yeah, she throws in the bin and then she heads back inside. While her mother is editing the video footage they shot, and she's remarking about her daughter's performance and all that stuff. And you think they're the perfect family, but actually they're not. She seems
pretend.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a perfect family. I know from experience. You know who I'm sitting next to? No, sorry.
Anyway, later that night, as the girl's sleeping, she then hears something in the garbage bin, outside.
No, outside, not the garbage bin.
She heads downstairs, and she finds that the garbage bin is empty. Where the crow, we don't know what happened to it.
And she follows the noise into the nearby woods, and lo and behold,
we see the crow, and he's croaking.
Well, it's Mrs. Crow, actually. We figured out Russell Crowe's wife.
Funny. Anyway, she mercifully, she tries to kill the crow.
Smashed its head off a rock. Well, it had a broken neck, but
Yeah.
it appeared it was trying to get back to its nest. She saw this egg there, and she felt sorry for it, but she put it out of its misery, didn't she? Eventually.
She feels
smash.
Yeah, she feels not too proud of what she did.
But she took the little egg.
So she took the egg and took it back home and placed it under her very big teddy bear.
Yeah, big teddy bear or something. Yeah.
Yeah. The next morning, she's at gymnastics.
Gymnastics practice, yes.
And she's doing really trashy with on one of the movements.
Parallel bars. You know, when they spring up from one bar next to different levels and stuff. Yeah.
She tries several
doing
times.
somersaults and
and
stuff.
her teacher, the coach, tells her if she doesn't do this correct, she will not be able to compete in the next competition.
Sad.
Yeah. Anyway, I should mention she has made an acquaintance with the girl next door.
New girl. Called Rita.
Named Rita, and her dog. And Rita's dog doesn't like her too much.
Yeah, Rita's got a little dog. He's a little... Well, no, let's just call him the dog. He's a French bulldog, whatever that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not a humongous dog.
At the beginning of the movie, he bit... Tinja's hand, and this was before all this stuff starts happening, which makes me beg the question: does the dog sense something dangerous afoot?
Aha.
Anyway, so back to our story. The girl heads home. She eventually finds that the egg's grown a bit.
Oh, it's getting bigger. I'd have no need to get bigger. Interesting.
Yeah.
So it went from a little egg about the size of a hen's egg into the size of an emu egg almost. Yeah.
We also discovered that her mum, is having an affair with a guy who was fixing her chandelier.
Yeah, his name's Taro. He's a love interest.
Yeah. And her daughter spots her having this affair, and she says...
Well, he wasn't doing anything. He just grabbed me his leg was up a ladder, as one would.
And then giving him a kiss. Anyway, her mother explains to her that adults need friends and
Daddy knows.
Yeah, makes you wonder
he
how
did.
long
He did. It's in the story. Yeah. Daddy knew about it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
he was happy to let it go because she was happy and. Yeah.
Yeah, strange that.
Strange family.
Yeah, it's very unusual, this family, which makes the question. Anyway, back to the story. So anyway, slowly the egg starts growing, and the girl cares for it like it was her own baby. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Pretty much, just trying to nurture it and look after it. Yeah.
Yeah, and throughout this growing process, we watch as the mother and the daughter's relationship get rocky.
Yeah, it's going down the maelstrom, down the gurgle.
Yeah, her mother pressures her to do her absolute 100% best at the competition.
200% best.
Or, well, I don't know what will happen. I guess they have that sort of... she doesn't even think of her daughter as a daughter. She sees her as more of a mini-me, or a product, or just an animal.
You jump through the hoops, I'll put you on the podcast and blog you and different things, or whatever she's going to do to her.
Yeah, and if she didn't do as her told, I don't know what would happen. I don't know.
It makes mum look bad. Okay.
Oh, yes. Eventually, the egg has grown to a very big as a human being.
Yeah, like a human being could crawl inside it.
Yeah. And while the girl is crying on the egg, it begins to absorb her tears. We even hear a heartbeat inside it, a very strong heartbeat. Then we see the egg finally hatching, and we see it's a very big, pretty much the same size as her, bird.
Yeah, skeletal-looking thing. Really weird.
Yeah, but then again.
Anyway, it didn't look very nice.
Anyway,
I would have killed it.
The bird eventually runs off, and of course the girl tells her dad that it was just a bird that just flew into the house.
Broke the window and different things, and blah, blah, blah. She lied again.
But so they both clean it up, and then that very night, the bird returns, and at first she's scared, but then the bird soon enough, it was just as scared as her, and eventually...
And he had a piece of glass in its paw or leg or something.
A claw, I think.
Paw, yeah.
She then takes it out, and she cares for it, and she takes it for a bath because it smells rather rotten.
Yeah, well, it came out of a sag all gooey and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she cleans it, and they even have fun in the bath. Of course, she tries to hide the fact from her brother, who...
They wanted to go for have a toilet break.
Yeah.
And she was using the bathroom. So
with
a friend.
Then she tucks it in under her bed. Weird. And she sings it to sleep by a weird lullaby, I think. Called about a baby bird being... who lost his mum and dad. Don't ask me
why. It was a baby bird, wasn't I suppose?
Anyway, that very night, the dog next door starts barking.
Yeah, Rita's little puppy dog. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that very night, the bird sneaks off and
wait. Let's tell you what. See, Tinja is woken and annoyed by the barking dog.
Yeah.
And she is probably thinking some evil thoughts about the dog.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish the dog was sharp, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And nasty things to do the dog. But she rolls over or blanks out or whatever, and then she wakes up in the morning.
Mm-hmm. She then discovers, this was Godfather, the remains of the dead dog with no head,
laying next to her in bed.
Yeah. Of course, she decides to not tell her parents about it and decides to bury the dog in their flower garden.
So Allie went out there and killed the dog and brought it back as a gift, just the way your cat would with a dead bird or a dead mouse or something or other. Yeah. In that nice little critter.
Yeah, her dad eventually comes into her room and tells her about why she locked the bathroom door while his son wanted to go to the toilet so badly. He ended up peeing in his bed.
But wait a minute.
What?
Wasn't there a part? Didn't she vomit about now?
She vomited up, and this
bird creature started eating it like a baby bird would.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of... I'm glad that these people have bothered to research into baby birds. Like, when a baby bird's mum eats a worm or whatever...
They chew it up, digest a bit, and then cough it up.
And the baby bird eats it.
Eats the partly digested food, yeah. So they did the same sort of thing for this creature.
So, back to the story. The dad comes into his daughter's room telling her, why did you lock the door when your brother wants to go to the toilet that bad? She then doesn't say very much. She just says that she just wanted a little bit of privacy and stuff like that. And
but then Dad sees a little bit of blood on a sheet and thinks
she's going for
she might have been going through some period cycle. And he's okay. So she's going through that girly thing. So he left her alone. What a good, kind, caring father. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So anyway, she returns to gym, and she doesn't go to the gym. She goes to the pet shop to find some birdseed to give to her bird, but she doesn't know which kind of birdseed to give to it, considering it's it's an unknown type bird. Brand.
I don't think it's going to show up in any bird books.
Yeah, she meets up with some of the girls from her gymnastics. Some of them make fun of her because they think of her as a so-called pretty much always dedicated to the gymnast work instead of dedicating to her social life.
Yeah, social life. Yeah. Whatever.
Anyway, she then walks with her neighbor, the girl. What's her name again? Rita.
Yeah.
And they're posting up missing dog posters.
Yeah, put them up so everyone's seen her little puppy dog. But
and
Tinja knows where the puppy dog is.
Yeah, Tinja's brother notices the missing poster and knows where the dog's buried, and he takes it to himself to get the dog's remains out, and eventually he
brings it into Mum and Dad and say, "There, Tinja did this."
Yeah, he got very jealous of his mum giving her a nice fancy brush
and treating her like she's really real special because she's doing her gymnastics.
Yes. Anyway, she pushes her down, and he heads into her room wearing a weird mask.
He had a cardboard mask on. Yeah, very nondescript.
He then sees something inside her room, and he goes underneath the bed, which is where Ellie is. The bird,
bird creature thing,
and
whatever it is.
It scratches at the mask, cutting it in two.
Yes, half and half.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Of course, the boy runs out of there and thinks that there's a monster.
There's a monster under it, but yeah.
Of course, Tinja approaches the bird under the bed and says, you shouldn't do that, yada, blah, blah, blah. But then her mother comes into the room that very same time and tries to check out the room. She looks under the bed, she looks in the cupboard. All she finds there in the cupboard was a damaged gymnastics outfit that
the mother had purchased it.
Yeah, early in the picture. And she's a little annoyed. Like, she thinks that her daughter's acting out because she probably doesn't want to do this competition thing, all that stuff. It's all the and she thinks that she's just either scared or fearful about it. It's all the added pressures, and she ignores what's happening around her. The mother, I mean.
Yeah, mother's in her own little world most of the time, as some mothers are.
We then discover Ali inside the closet, and she was the one that scratched at the uniform. Yeah,
she trashed it.
Yeah. We then later on that night, Ali dubbed the creature. The little girl daughter dubbed the creature Ali after the song she sang to it a couple of times.
Yeah. So up until now, the creature didn't have a name. Aha.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Then later on, I think. Yeah. It's later on. The girls are just finishing gymnastics, and as they're finishing, the mum is planning on taking her daughter home, and asks the neighbour's daughter, what's her name? I keep forgetting the names in this. What's
what?
The neighbour's daughter?
Rita.
You
forgot two names, remember? Tinja and Rita.
I can't really remember Tinja. It's not really an easy name to remember. If it was Tina, I could probably remember, but it's Tina. I can't pronounce it. Anyway,
whatever. She
asked her if you would like to come into the car with us and we'll drive you home.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she says, no, I think I'd like to walk back home on my own, all that stuff. And she doesn't push her to, because it's getting dark and it's nighttime, and Tinja is being pressured by her mother, and both the fact her coach thinks she's still not good enough to be in the competition. But somehow she suspects that Elliot is going to go out and kill her new friend.
Possibly.
She then...
Friends are hard to get.
Yeah, as they're driving back, she then tries to tell her mum to stop and drive back because she fears that her friend's going to get killed. And we get a feeling, and then we get a seizure from Tinja as the Ellie is attacking her friend.
Yeah, actually, up until this stage, we're starting to get an idea that Tinja and the creature Ali are linked.
Yes.
Somehow or other. Yeah, she's picked something up through her, nurturing her tears. Whatever.
Yeah, she also develops, I think, Tinja also develops some seizures throughout of whenever
whenever the thing's doing something naughty, she's normally having a seizure or something. Like having a stroke. Not a stroke, an epileptic fit or something or other.
Something like that. And eventually, her mother just thinks it's just another panic attack or something. You think her mother would know her daughter's health problems and know if she's developing a fit.
Mummy's a loser.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we then discover that later on, her mother wants to go and visit her love interest, the Toro.
Not Toro. Toro, El Toro, Bull.
Sorry, Taro.
Taro.
And she wants to bring her daughter along with her. And the father is okay with this, which is weird as it is. Anyway, they head there, and the house is like fixer-upper, would you say?
Yeah, he's in the middle of fixing it up. Yeah, it's a big old 2-story house. Very nice looking. It'd be great when it gets fixed up, coat of paint, bit of work, TLC, Too much work for me, folks.
We then get introduced to his little baby daughter, which suspiciously, the baby's room looks a lot like the rooms back at the mother's house a little bit. It makes me beg to wonder how many times has she been there, and was she the one decorating the room?
Possibly.
Because throughout the room, it has flowers in the room.
Oh, by the way, Taro is a widower.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, his wife passed away recently, and she's making friends with Tero. So Tero's not really being naughty to his wife because he doesn't have a wife, but Mrs. Whatever her name is not really cheating on her husband because her husband knows all about it. So go figure, folks.
Yeah. So anyway. You know, as I said before, the baby's room is decked up in flowers, on the walls. At home, there's a lot of flowery wallpaper. It's the lounge room's got flowers. Her room, her husband and her, I guess, have separate bedrooms. I think, and
I don't know.
Even her son's room is decked up in flowery wallpaper, which is a little odd because
not my favourite wallpaper type.
Yeah, you would think a boy's room would have decked up with I don't know, but something more boyish.
Well, he's not old. It's a younger brother, so he might be about 10. But you think, monster trucks.
Yeah, something that interesting.
Some cartoon hero
or
a Marvel comic poster or something or other. No. It looks like an old woman or something, or a mature person was living in it. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. That very night, the daughter Tinja is sleeping in her room, and it looks very run down. You'd think they would at least make up a good best bed.
The terrace place. Yeah. Well, haven't been done yet.
Yeah, and soon if Ellie, her baby bird arrives, and I should mention, guys, she starts really changing.
She's morphing into a human being.
Yeah,
very much like a 12-year-old little girl.
Yeah, one minute we see her having a beak, and now the next minute we see her developing a human face.
Well, the beak fell off. I mean, they actually found it in the bedroom.
Yeah, they did, and now she's developing similar features to the daughter.
Tinja, yes, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Case of the body snatchers here, folks.
Yeah. Ellie eventually shares her bed, and she even started wearing some of her Tina's clothes.
Well, they gave some clothes to wear. Yeah. Well, what's going to wear? A naked girl running around.
Yeah. Tina starts bonding with Tara.
Tinja.
What? Tara.
Tara.
Her mother's love interest.
Tara. Tara and Tinja getting friendly. Yeah.
And the daughter gets along with the baby a little bit. And
a helmet or something. It's a baby, whatever.
I remember it's an unusual name.
It could be helmet or something. I can't remember now.
Yeah. Anyway, she's there in the breakfast scene. Tara tells the mum, who's, as I said, it is an influencer, starts taking photos of her daughter's breakfast, which a lot of people often do on social media. I don't know why. It's weird.
Little baby's called Helmy.
Okay. And Tara's worried that if they take photos at his house, he doesn't want his himself in frame. And then the mother says, "Oh, don't worry, I'm going to cut you out frame." And I don't think he really liked it very much.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
Your hand might be in frame, though, feeding the baby. That's about it.
Yeah. Anyway, she's more close. The mother is more close to Taro's baby than her own daughter, which kind of sprawls a little bit of jealousy for her daughter, because her mother's treating her like a product, like she was a dog. And the baby, she treats her like an angel or a gift from heaven. Yeah,
and it wasn't even her baby.
Yeah, which is odd. She's not exactly treating her nicely, her daughter nicely.
Well, actually, we don't. No, it can't be hers. Yeah, they just.
No, that wouldn't make sense.
They would have known that. They would have come out the story earlier. It's definitely the Taro's dead wife's baby. Yeah.
In this scene, at the breakfast scene, the mother informs her daughter that her friend, her neighbor's friend, was badly attacked and now in hospital. She visits her, and then her friend, acts up and starts screaming, and then that causes her to run out.
Well, I would.
Yeah, and Tara's a little upset with her bird friend, Ali, and tells her, "How could you? She didn't do anything to you," all that stuff. And she quickly tries to tell her that she hates her, and eventually the bird comforts her like
now,
she did.
Tina starts hitting herself.
Yeah, she starts hitting herself.
Slapping her own face.
Yeah.
Because by the time she knows that Ali can feel
Ooh, yes.
He's got this bond, so he starts having himself, and Ali starts feeling the pain that Tinja is inflicting on herself. There you go.
Yeah, and she feels guilty, and the bird cradles her, and then
Like a friend would.
We see another scene where she's bonding with Taro, and she's showing him a few gymnast movements. And of course, during one of the scenes when she's doing a flip, her mother comes out, and she kind of yells at her for doing it wrong and saying nasty things, and tells her all that stuff. And when the baby starts crying, she goes up to it saying, "Oh, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah,
poor little darling."
You're my daughter saying all these yelling so loudly. Blah, blah, blah.
And Tinja wasn't saying anything.
Yeah, her mother was the one yelling and screaming at her. She was just so not really observant. And this is the very day her and her daughter, they go off to the competition, and Tina's worried about leaving Tara and the daughter and the baby behind, because she suspects her little bit of jealousy might afflict Ali to go ahead and attack the baby. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Something like that.
Yeah. Try to, even though it was only just a mini bit of jealousy, not maybe not mini jealousy. If I was having to compete with a little baby, I think I would be a little jealous.
Yeah.
Considering her mother's...
She's Peter the cat, actually, but...
Anyway, so back to the story. The girl and her mum, they head to the gymnastics competition while she watches from so as she's doing one of her flips on the ring, or
she
the
pauses and lets herself fall, because she can feel that Ali's going to do something naughty. So if she hurts herself, it'll inflict pain on Ali, so Ali won't get into too much trouble.
Yeah. She begs at first to Ali to not do this, possibly if they can each have a telepathic thinking, maybe she can be able to hear her thoughts and tell her not to do this. But anyway, eventually she falls from the beam and crushes her arm, and this causes Ali to scream in terror, and Tara appears in the baby's room and watches Ali climb out onto the window and disappear, And then when the girl, Tia, and her mother head back to Tara's house, he accuses her of possibly, trying to kill his daughter, and he doesn't believe the mother, and she thinks that she's lying to cover up the fact the daughter is jealous of the baby, and he tells them to leave his home. So she packs up and they leave Tara's house, and she, before they drive off, she actually pounds her head against the steering wheel, self-inflicting
and gave herself a nosebleed or something.
Yeah, she bleeds out, and it's self-inflicting.
Doesn't bleed out.
Well, not bleed out, but there was a bit of...
She gets a nosebleed, okay? Bleed out means she died in the car in a big pool of blood, okay?
Anyway, she's self-inflict. Is that the word? Self-inflict?
She did herself some harm. Yes, she inflicted her own pain by smashing her head against the steering wheel and giving herself a bloody nose. There you go.
They head home, and when she enters the house, she kisses her husband, even though he notices that her nose is bleeding, and saying, what just happened, all that stuff. And she says...
he didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
he didn't give a crap.
What?
He didn't ask. He didn't care.
Well, he did seem to...
He didn't care. They had a kiss, and he walked straight past.
Yeah.
That was it. He didn't say squat. He didn't say, how was your time? Did you have a good time?
No,
Sorry about your nose.
He asked about what happened to your nose. And then she says, it's nothing. She kisses him and heads off to her room and to make up her herself.
My notes say he ignored her bloody nose and just tooted like he didn't give a shit.
Anyway,
Anyway. Don't worry, carry on.
Tia goes up to her room, and she's a little upset about what this creature's done, and decides to lock her out by locking her from out of her room, because the creature arrived there and she wanted to get inside her room, but she's saying, no, I don't want anything more to do with you.
Go away, you're naughty. Oh, poor Ali.
And at the time, her dad's outside, and he thinks that Tia is outside, but doing some weird stuff.
Well, he sees Ali and he thinks it's Tinja, because by now she's almost a dead lookalike
Yeah, she was...
For Tinja.
Yeah.
And she got a dress on.
Yeah. The only difference is, at this moment, her eyes are a slightly greyish colour.
How do you call it? It's not a glaze, glaucoma or like when you get that film over your eyes, looks a bit grey and whitey and stuff.
Greyish, whitey.
A bit like that. The eyes look a bit like that. Yeah.
Anyway,
like a skin over it.
Yeah. Anyway, the mother tries to do a bit of a video vlog saying about how her daughter did do a good job being on the balance on the bar, whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, the daughter tries to tell her mother that she's sorry that she didn't try her best and hopes that she
better luck next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. While she's eventually, Ali eventually come into the house, and she's thanks to the father, and she then climbs into the closet, I guess, to have a cry, or not really a cry, just and the father thinks, oh, this is my daughter just acting out, whatever, feeling a bit sad that she did terrible on the gymnastics competition, thinks that's what it is, and then the mother comes in and she pulls Ali out of the cupboard and notices her hair
is all messy.
Yeah, and starts combing at it and has a difficult time brushing because Ali or even Tina didn't even bother to brush her hair, throughout this movie.
No, and it's a bit tangly, and Mum's being a bit vigorous and pulls some hair out of Ali's head.
She starts bleeding at the back of her head.
Well, yeah, if I pulled out a tuft of your hair, I think you'd be bleeding, lose a bit of skin too,
Yeah. And eventually, Ali turns and starts attacking her
mother dear.
And eventually, Tina hears about this, and then she runs into the room and she yells at Ali and tells her to go away.
And Mum realises, I've got 2 daughters now.
Yeah, Tia tells her mum that she hatched Ali and she wants her to go away. So they hug each other, feeling a bit of a nice moment here, and they then settle up by taking 2 kitchen knives. I don't know what they are, butcher's knives or kitchen knives. I don't care. Carving knives.
Big ones. And think of Norman Bates.
They then go on a hunt for the creature, and they tell the husband that there's someone in this house that looks like Tia, but isn't Tia. And she tells her husband and her son to go into his room and stay locked in there while they hunt for the creature. Yeah. Eventually, they find the creature in Tia's. No, I think it's her mother's closet, and it starts clinging to her. And while she's clinging to her, she then takes the knife and plunged it into the creature's Ali's leg.
Yeah, and Ali was very annoyed.
And Tia's begins to ow in pain, ouch, 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 all that stuff.
Tinja's feeling the pain.
Yeah, and when the Ali's on the ground, the mother is approaching the creature, and Tia's asking her, "What are you going to do with the creature?" And she says that she's going to put it out of misery or something like that.
Yeah, so Tinja jumps up in front of Mum.
Yeah.
Trying to protect Ali.
Yeah.
And
her mother plunges the knife into her chest.
Into Tinja's chest.
Tinja's chest, and eventually Tia falls down
on top of Ali,
and some of the blood trickles into Ali's mouth.
Yes. Now this is important. This is the interesting part. You're paying attention, folks. Okay. You're sleeping. Wake up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the creature's eyes start changing into a normal color.
Human eyes.
And there was cuts.
Yeah, the mouth was a bit split from.
There was a bit of split during its
yelling and screaming tirade, and that repaired itself. Yeah.
And the father and brother appear in the room, and the mother is grieving about her dead daughter, and sees.
Ali stands up. Well,
yeah, and she says, "Mother," I think in.
Well, yes, in a bit of a croaky voice, it's mother.
Yeah, she then stands over her, and Ali stands over the mother, the terrified mother, looking down at her with a cold,
unemotional
look, which makes, And then the movie fades to black.
Fade to black about bloody time. No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
My only problem with European movies is they can tend to drag on a little bit more than they should. But I think that's what they're working on, the drama side of it and building up suspense and the mystery and stuff. So it's a balance. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
I do think that this movie it focuses more about the mother and the daughter relationship more.
The mother's more of a monster than the monster is.
Yeah. So your mother was more focused on her life and her daughter's life, or more her life.
Her own life and make your daughter do a Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what's going to happen, if there was a continuation, I think Ellie was not going to do gymnastics.
No,
she might take over as Tinja totally, mentally and whatever, I do not know, but as a stronger personality.
Yeah, because...
And put mum in her place.
See, Tinja was she wasn't as self-obsessed as her mother. She was more of a kind-hearted,
nice, gentle soul who was being controlled madly by her mother.
Now that the tables have turned, in a big sense.
Mum's going to have a word.
Now that
put this in your bloody blog.
And Ellie is now the powerful, and villain in the story in the scene.
Yeah, they've described Tinja and Ali as having a situation. There's a reference to it in different books called making out that Ali is a doppelganger. Okay. A twin. An evil twin, something or other, created by demons or spirits or whatever.
I think it's created by demons.
Or protection, or a projection from the original person.
Yeah, I think that the raven or crow at the beginning was
that's a harbinger of terror,
I think
possibly.
That it's either a demon or a messenger of evil sendings.
Well, weren't they right?
Yeah, because that bird was there to disrupt their peaceful existence and cause a bit of damage in their family, their peaceful existence. When you think about it, in the beginning, in the movie, you think it's a perfect lifestyle. It's like those commercials you see on those television where you see a happy family running around the backyard and you see how wonderful it is and cheerful it was, and then you find out that it's not as perfect as it is. It turns out it's more sinister and more complicated and a bit and everything. And the mother tries to use this as a bit of a way of thinking this is her life, and all the people around her, her husband, her son, her daughter, are just actors in a production, and not she didn't care about. And when she's with Taro, the nice guy at the other house, she thinks of it, that's more family. That's more natural.
Yeah. And weird lady.
And she treats the baby there as her own, even though it's not her own. It's not hers.
Yeah. Anyway.
I do think that's how it is, because she...
mother's crazy.
The mother was a bit of a monster because she was more self-obsessed and she didn't see what was going on with her daughter. Like, if she was a real kind of mother, she would know from the start that what her daughter was experiencing was not normal.
And she didn't want to be a gymnast in the first place. Aha. Yeah. Anyway, now, enough. Okay. Production stuff. Not a lot. Development. Now, the director, Hannah Bergholm, began casting around 2018.
Right.
And the main ones he had to trouble with was the Tinja role, because it had to be one person playing two roles.
Exactly.
The creature initially was animatronics, and then later on had different people playing dressed up, but I don't know who the people were. But yeah, special effects, machinery, whatever, animatronics was done by Gustav Hogan, whoever he is, and his team. But as the monster evolved and became human-like, human beings were involved, and a guy called Connor O'Sullivan was involved in doing the prosthetics and the makeup to make the creature humanoid, a real person.
I get it.
Now, that guy worked on The Dark Knight.
Ooh, cool.
So, yeah, and possibly for other movies. So, yeah. So they obviously got a guy who knew his stuff to make up a credible-looking creature. Now, I don't normally do marketing and releasing, but for this I will because it actually hit the theatres and the video on demand at the same time. The trailer was released in February. Brad Miska from Bloody Disgusting commented on the trailer, comparing it favourably to the 1990 movie Meet the Applegates, and writing that it sits comfortably towards the top of my must-see film list. So yeah, and other people got the same sort of thing happening. When it came down to reception, there's hardly anything there because it's bypassed the theatres to a certain degree. But Rotten Tomatoes got it at 91%.
It's like good or bad?
Bloody good. Damn good. They're normally about midway. Yeah, everyone liked it. It's a great movie. It's not an action horror. It's more, what would you say, a bit more slower than action one because it's more how do you put it? Kind of mystery, suspense, thriller, that sort of crap. Yeah, in that sort of genre. Yeah.
Yeah, but I gotta admit though, I think it falls under, to me, more like supernatural horror.
Yeah, but it's not an action one. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's not an action horror.
Well, it said supernatural, not
action.
action.
I just said it's not an action horror like a slasher movie. It's more like a style movie, suspense thriller type horror, like a developing story. Yeah. So it's good. The storyline's good.
Anyway, I do think that I keep wondering to myself who to side with in the movie. I mean, I know the little girl was the good, the little innocent who she didn't confide to her mother what was really going on because she either fear of that her mother would kill Allie, probably.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. I would have been really happy to see Allie kill Mum and Allie die in the process. And then the three of them, Daddy and Tinja and her little brother Matthias, lived happily ever after.
Yeah,
that would have been nice, but it's a horror movie. Yes, I do.
I did think it was pretty interesting, and I think it was a bit of poetical justice that the mother got her what she deserved in the end. She ends up with someone a lot more terrifying to deal with, and not just an untalented daughter, but very dangerous.
Who knows? She could be
dangerous type being.
She could be. I'm going to get you later if you give me a hard time. Who knows?
Quite.
Anyway, there's nothing much more to say about this one.
Yeah.
Aren't you lucky? No.
Yeah, I mean,
can't think of anything.
Should we rate it now?
Yes,
do you think?
I'm going to look. To me, these sort of fall in different sort of genre. I mean, you got the big major film companies like in America and England, whatever, Australia, to a lesser degree, Australia, and then you got the European films. To me, I think they're in their own category. Now, as a European type film, I think it's up there quite nicely, up near the top. I don't necessarily like them because I have to read subtitles. And I don't like reading subtitles because I got really bad eyes. Okay?
Yeah, and I don't necessarily like having to be able to not pronounce their names, even though the mother and father name is not so bad.
Mother and father, that's pretty good.
Is easy to pronounce, but having to pronounce the lead protagonist's name and her brother's name and her neighbour's name is a little hard to remember.
Okay. And they got the accents when they're trying to talk and try and pick up what they say. Are they the right words? Yeah, and you don't know whether the subtitles are 100% accurate. And reading subtitles, you're not paying attention to the screen, what's happening in their background or whatever. So that's why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, only because I find it hard to do with subtitles, maybe.
Yeah.
Half an hour, I think it's fine. I would have been happier if it was dubbed into English instead of subtitled.
Yeah, it would have been interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think sometimes the acting is a bit, I think it was, whenever I think of the acting side to it, Mike, I keep thinking it's a lot like those, they're trying to make it look too perfect, like trying to make their family life look very perfect.
But that was the basis of this movie. She was trying to put over on her streaming or whatever it was. Or,
trying to make them look like I Love Lucy.
The perfect family. That's what she's trying to do. That was her video blog or whatever she's doing. She was trying, look at us. We are the perfect finished family. Aren't we lovely? Yeah, that sort of stuff. And that's why she's trying to make it look so good.
She makes me think of that Margot character from the Addams Family cartoon.
Yes,
where
the
woman in that one made the perfect
town. The simulation, Everyone's going to be exactly the same. Yeah.
She was like, that's how I see
Margot,
this character when I think about her.
Uncle Fester got her in the end. Lucky Fester.
Anyway, I'm going to rate this movie, The Hatching. I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10 for me because I thought there was some things I would love it to develop. Like, I would have loved it if we explored the mother, try to get her to break out of her shell. I think that's the whole purpose in this movie.
Yeah, break mum or kill mum. Put mum in a nut house.
At least try to get
something.
At least try to find out. I mean, get her to open up and start realizing there's a world beyond being an influencer. All I've got here is mum's there looking up at the creature, say, what's going to happen next? The end. Yeah. And it's to me, it leaves it hanging. Yeah, that's a good hanging, but
it's good hanging, but no room for a sequel.
But it would be nice if the mother started. This is how I see the mother. I see her as she protects herself using a special eggshell. That's how I see it. Her whole entire world is confined inside an egg.
Or snow cone, snow globe,
or something. And when something frets it or is coming into contact with it, she tries to do everything that she can to block it out or try to... Anyone who comes near her, like her daughter or her husband or anyone, she tries to block them out. They don't exist inside her little egg-shaped world.
Perfect little world. Anyway.
So that's how I see the mother. And I would have loved it if somehow at the halfway through the movie that somehow her egg, his symbolically egg, would crack and she'd start seeing that her world is not perfect or something like that.
Well, that's deep, isn't it? Okay,
anyway,
wait a minute. Availability? Hello?
Availability, now.
eBay, there's plenty for sale. You can get it. It's been released okay. Now, I don't know whether Amazon's going to get any for sale, but it is rentable. If these two guys have got it, you can probably get it some other places as well as. It's got video on demand. Obviously, it's out there somewhere in the internet. So go for it, guys. It's I think it's a pretty good movie. It's for a foreign movie. I mean, again, I don't like reading subtitles. I got poor eyesight.
Well, there's nothing wrong with movies with subtitles.
No, I didn't say there's anything wrong. I just I'm trying to read it, and my eyes aren't that good. I'm spending more time looking at the words and not watching what's actually going on the screen, and that takes away the enjoyment for me because I've got bad eyesight. Okay. I just said, okay, and that's why I don't like. I didn't mind subtitles years ago. But at the moment my eyes aren't as good as they were, and it just makes it a little bit harder for the old folks at home who've got bad eyesight to do two things. My wife's in the other room now watching a foreign movie with subtitles, and she's older than me. Her eyes aren't anywhere near as bad as mine. So there's nothing wrong with subtitles. Yeah. But I would have preferred for me to have it dubbed so I can actually listen to it and watch what's happening.
I would have loved it if it was a little bit more darker as it goes in this movie. I mean, I thought it was... I don't know. Maybe I'm pushing it, but...
maybe you pushed it. It was supposed to be... It was supposed to be a dark story.
Yeah.
Not that dark, I don't think.
I don't know.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't think. You liked it and I liked it, and we've graded it and it's available.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
So, that's it for us tonight. It's a short one, I guess.
What's that short? It's over 50 minutes long. What do you want?
Okay, sorry. Anyway, so that's it for us tonight, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. So this is Sarah Stephenson.
Hey, Margle.
Saying, see you guys for our next podcast. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.